Evening. Big up Therapy Army. Hopefully, a lot of you are going to be watching this later. I know not all of you are about, but big up to you all. Welcome to United Real Therapy. This is a quick preview, just a quick one, people. Quick one. For the Manchester United versus Leicester City. Big game tomorrow. Big game in the Premier League, especially the way some of the results have gone today. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully be at OT 2 o'clock tomorrow. I won't be able to do this the preview usually. I wanted to do it last night, but we had the debate about the ownership last night. And I'm doing the preview now. So let's get into it, people. Manchester United versus Leicester. Actually, their fixtures, they've been really good at Old Trafford. Not gonna lie, people, they've been really good, Leicester, in recent years. So let's get into it. Obviously, we'll be without Casemiro, who's suspended. Martinez and Sabitzer should be back after they were suspended for the Europa League. Scott McTominay is nearing the return, but this weekend might prove too soon. Yuri Tillemans could be involved after recovering from a calf injury for Leicester. Fellow midfielder Bakary Somere is also available since sustaining a hamstring injury. And James Maddison is fine, according to the manager, despite having to restrict his training because ongoing knee issues. So they should be fine. So at the moment, Scott McTominay is the only one that's come back. Not heard anything about Anthony Martial. That guy don't even play for Man United anymore, so forget about him. But Anthony is worrying as well. And I thought that we could get some fresh legs. So I expect Sabitzer and Lisandro Martinez to start tomorrow. I expect both of them to start tomorrow. In terms of the head-to-heads, Leicester avoided defeat in successive Premier League away games against Manchester United for the first time since 1977. Manchester United have only lost 4 of the last 33 Premier League meetings, drawing 9, losing 20. Man United have lost 4 of their. Okay, they've lost 4 of the Premier League meetings. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Those 4 victories were under Brendan Rodgers. So they beat us 2-1 at Old Trafford in May 2021, and then 4-2 at the King Power Stadium in 2021. So remember, they beat us at Old Trafford, and then it was one of the worst games for Harry Maguire. He got rushed back in and he didn't know what the hell he was doing. But big up to everybody. Smash a little like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're already subscribed. Big up Arsenal. Yeah. City are shite. Somebody saying, hey, like the video so you come in here. Big up Khalis Ramadine Lassie. Big up Claire. Hey, here we go. Big up our Claire. Hey, there's only one Claire. There's only one Claire. It's our Claire, mate. Big up our Claire. Love and light, Claire. Lovely to see you on the chat again, Claire. We miss you. We miss your enthusiasm. We miss your energy. We miss your one-liners. We've missed your one-liners, Claire. We've missed your one-liners. Yeah, but I've been loving your tweets, Claire. You make me laugh, honestly. You crack me up. Some of the most hilarious, witty tweets I know. Check out Claire. Claire, can you let people know what your Twitter is so people can follow you, please? Please let people know what your handle is. Say the assy. Say the assy's about. Hey, say the assy's about. Big up, say the assy. You know what? We cannot begrudge them. We cannot begrudge them. We cannot begrudge say me assy or any Arsenal fan. Today they went early when they were 1-0 down early on. And they've come back, battled back, and to win 4-2. And Villa away, it's not an easy game. It's not an easy game, Villa away. So, yeah, even the Argentinian goalkeeper, Martinez, was helping them out with a backward diving header. If you know, you know. Their old keeper, eh? Their old keeper, Martinez, helping them out. Bang, bang, doing what he's doing. Zayn in the house, man. So big up, Zayn Miassi. How you feeling, Zayn? 3 points clear, same games as Man City. How you feeling? Let us know. You don't have to do a super chat. We just want to hear your elation, man. Big up. You know what, Chris? That's what I'm saying to you. It's not Listen, I always said it. It's not for everyone that can beat Nottingham Forest. People laughed at me when I was like, Nottingham Forest away in the cup is a tough game. And people were laughing at me going, it's only Nottingham Forest. I'm like, no, they battle. Nottingham Forest will battle you. They will battle you. So big up Claire. Big up Claire. Absolute love to our Claire, man. Honestly, so happy to see her. So happy to see her, Claire. I hope you're having a good day, health-wise. Sending you love and light. Premier League top 5 has now Arsenal on 54, Man City on 52, Manchester United on 46, Newcastle on 41, Tottenham on 39. Big up Khalees Remedy last Chiveda United Real Therapy. There we go, people. There we go. Love from Amsterdam. Love to Amsterdam, man. I wish I was in Amsterdam tonight, eh? I'd love to have gone out to Amsterdam tonight. There you go, people. Make sure you go, honestly, some of the funniest tweets, especially in during the match. Claire is just tweeting blow by blow in the matches. Honestly, it's one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter. And I'm not just saying that. I genuinely love your tweets. I love your tweets. So if you really want to check out some witty tweets, check it out. Claire without the tain. Without the tain. Without tain. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So big up, people. Windy says, Nuruddin Graham Potter's thoughts. Is he getting sacked? Is he getting sacked? Because, well, it was always going to be tough. Has he been sacked? Has he been sacked? I just know that they've given him a 6-year contract. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, well, it just continues. They've given Todd Bowley's giving him 6-year contract. And it's just a weird one. It's really weird one. Really weird one, Wadi Ahmed. It's a real one. It's weird, honestly. It's so weird. You don't try, you just yourself, Claire. And it's bloody hilarious. Big up the mix. Hi, brother Salam. Hope you good. Greetings, therapy. I'm yes, brother. Love and light, man. I hope everything's all good. I hope the family's good. All the way there in the Bronx. Yeah, my Twitter is Claire without the tain. E with that. There you go. That's what it is, people. So make sure you give Claire a follow. Honestly, she's an absolute Mancunian diehard United fan, and I don't know if some of you guys would get it, like the things, but of course it's football talk. The way she just puts the words together. I'm dyslexic, so it's very difficult for me to construct. It takes me hours to construct a tweet, but for her, it just flows naturally. It absolutely flows naturally. That's what I'm talking about. How shy are Chelsea? Listen, it is what it is. But big up Jesse Marsh. Was it Jesse Marsh's first game today? Jesse Marsh. Jesse Marsh. Dancing with the devil. Spend another 300 million. That's what I'm saying to you. Hey, Dancing with the devil, they need to spend another 300 million. Crazy. It is what it is. It's capital C, by the way, Claire, and an E. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that's what it is, people. So it's Claire with so it's capital C and a capital E. So the first letter is capital C and the last letter is capital E. So go and check out and also make sure you're following Khalees Ramadan Lassie as well. Khalees Ramadan Lassie. So make sure that's what it is. It's at Khalees Ramadan Lassie. He's always tweeting about the politics, whatever's going on in the world. He was always informing each other. That's what we're doing. 6 years, that's some Woodward bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Did they? Yeah, of course they did. That's why I was shocked when they sacked Tuchel. Tuchel, they lost 2 cup finals just by, honestly, small margins is not the word. They were so unlucky against Liverpool. So unlucky. They lost 2 finals to penalty shootouts, if I'm not mistaken. Told majority stake in Ineos, Manchester United still effective means they want all the Glazer shares with control of the club. Yeah. So basically, this is where, like I said, listen, I don't think Todd Bowley's got the money to buy Manchester United, but we have to clarify this. So Manchester United, the Glazers own the largest share of Manchester United. That's 70%. 30% are owned by all of these little hedge funds, these little like vulture capitalists on the New York Stock Exchange. So they're the class B, right? They're the class, the Glazers own the class B, and the class A, which have no voting rights, 30% are owned by these vulture capitalists in New York Stock Exchange, these little companies who just don't even get me started. They will sell. They will sell. So that's the mistake what it is. So I know a lot of people are saying, oh, the Glazers will stay. No, those 30% shares, Class B shares, so Class A shares don't belong to the Glazers. They don't. They belong to these little vulture capitalists. That's who they belong to, and they will sell once the club goes sell. If they get offered decent money, they will sell. But there's other issues with Jim Ratcliffe's thing. Where's he going to get this 3 billion? Man United need 3 billion investment. Manchester United need 3 billion investment for the next 5 to 6 years, and that's with infrastructure, stadium for the women and the youth. It means building a new stadium just on the other side of Old Trafford. I think we need a new stadium because it's hard to renovate. If you know, you know. They're on the train tracks, one of the main big train tracks in Manchester. So Bobby Charlton stand is on that, so it'd be very difficult to me to renovate the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. So the whole of the stadium is going to look amazing, but then we can't renovate that because it's literally right next to the train track like that. It's right next to the train track. And the Manchester City Council or British Rail are not going to stop their train services so Manchester United can build that. How's that going to happen? Unless those guys are working maybe like 5 hours, like from 12 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 5 o'clock, even though the trains come here. It's weird. And a lot of industrial trains go in the night as well. But anyway, that's just a minor detail. But let's get back to this, people. And like I said, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Road to 7K, people. Let's go, Therapy Army. Let's go. Let's go, people. Yeah, 100%. Listen, to me, people ask me in it constantly, who do I want to own Man United? Man United fans. I wish all of us could own Man United. But that's not the reality. And I'm going to come to this journalist who are all saying it's the worst thing that could happen if Manchester United get. But where were you when Resha and Ibrahimovic was buying Chelsea? Where were you when Man City were being bought by Dubai? Where were you when Saudi Arabia buying Newcastle? Where are you? Where were you? But let's go back anyway. Let's just quickly wrap up this the preview. Let's get back into this preview. So their record is really good. Leicester's record is really good. We'll come to the takeover talk in a minute because I've got a couple of things to say. Certain journalists, especially Muppet, who wrote an article in the Guardian, he's just like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You absolute dimwit Muppet! Where were you? Where are you finding this backbone all of a sudden?" So just to say, yeah, Manchester United have only so they beat us 2 times. So Leicester have avoided defeat in successive Premier League away games against Manchester United for the first time since 1997. They've got a very good attack, very talented. They've got match winners everywhere. They have, Leicester. They've always troubled us. It was always a tricky game against us. It's never an easy game. Manchester United have earned unrivaled 20 points since the Premier League resumed after the World Cup. They've lost just 3 of their last 21 Premier League fixtures, winning 14, drawing 4. United are on an 11-match unbeaten run at home, winning 10 and drawing just at the other. Eric Ten Hag's side have kept 9 Premier League clean sheets this campaign, which is more than in the whole of last season. And Marcus Rashford can become the first United player to score in 7 consecutive Premier League games, league home games since Wayne Rooney 2010. So Leicester City are aiming to win 3 Premier League wins in a row for the first time in more than 2 years. 2 of their 2 most recent victories have come despite conceding the first both times. Only Brighton have scored more away goals than Leicester, tallied 21 this season in the Premier League. The Foxes have failed to score just 1 of their away league matches this season. Only Manchester City have scored more Premier League first half goals than Leicester, 23 this season. James Maddison has been involved in 21 goals in the last 19 Premier League starts, scoring 13 and assisting 8. But he has never scored against Manchester United. He's a United fan deep down. Kelechi Iheanacho has been involved in 5 goals in the last 2 Premier League appearances with 2 goals and 3 assists. So that's the breakdown, people. And the most fascinating thing about those stats is that Leicester are aiming to win 3 Premier League wins in a row for the first time, more than 2 years. Their most 2 recent victories have come despite conceding first both times. So they're happy to concede. And only Brighton have scored more away goals than Leicester, tally which is 21 this season. So they play better actually away from home. If you know what I mean, they're really good away from home. Yeah, I'm gonna come and talk to that. I'm gonna talk about that. But Leicester, honestly, Leicester are a very, very good team, people. A very good team, very, very good team. Like I said, you've got Maddison, you've got Iheanacho, you've got Harvey Elliott. You've got the guy who plays the midfield is quite good as well. Yeah, their attack is really good. Their attack, Maddison, absolute brilliant. Like I said, he's their match winner. He is one of their match winners. He's somebody who is a match winner and a very much dangerous guy. So is Iheanacho. Iheanacho always scores against United anyway. But tomorrow, Man United have to bring their A game. And I'm worried that how much has the game in Barcelona took it out of us emotionally and physically. How much is it as it took over? Because tomorrow is a big game. It's an absolutely huge game. Huge game. Yeah, I'm going to come up to that, Claire. Big up, Claire. The people, Elliott's, who ruined, apparently, are the other bidders, the American bidders who are bidding for Man United. But RIP to everybody. There's over 45,000 deaths and counting. But big up, please, from Leicester, Chief of the United Real Therapy. Rest in peace, and our condolences go out to the family of Christine Atsu. But our condolences as part of Therapy Army go out to every family and everybody that's lost somebody to the earthquake in Syria and in Turkey. Love and light, people. Love and light to all those, people. Claire, you want who do you want as the new owners, right? Backline needs to be high and alert tomorrow. 100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Our backline tomorrow has to be, and that's where it's going to be a thing for me tomorrow to see how much, because it's not even just the physical, it's the emotional energy. Because that was the big game. The whole world was watching Barcelona, Manchester United. The whole world was watching that game. So it's not going to be an easy game. It is not going to be an easy game tomorrow for the players then to be up for a home game tomorrow against Leicester City at Old Trafford, who their record, they've drawn and they beat us last time. They've won. They've won. If I'm not mistaken, last season, did we drew last season? Let me just have a look it up. Past results. I'm just looking it up now. Let me just see. Let's just have a look. All right. I'm just having a look now, people. I'm just having a look now. Yeah, we beat them this season, obviously, but yeah. In April, yeah, we drew with them 1-1. And then in 11th of May, they beat us 2-1. So we've lost, we lost, we lost away to them 4-2. And then they beat us. So in 21, 22 season, they beat us twice. And we drew last season. But we've beat them this season at their stadium. So it is what it is, people. It is what it is. But yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. You've got to bring our A game tomorrow. 100%. It's not an easy game. It is not an easy game tomorrow. Like I said, they got a Dewsbury Hall in midfield and the other guys as well. The guy who scored against Tottenham, I forgot his name. But yeah, They're not an easy team to play against. They play on a transition. They're very easy. Yeah, they score a lot of their goals like on a transition. They win, they set traps for you, and they always raise their game against Man United. I mean, you see what they did to Tottenham. It could have been 5-6 against Tottenham. They could have beat yeah, and that's my worry. That's my worry, Nasji. That's my worry, brother or sister. We can't sustain Premier League chase and Europa 100%. 100% we can't. Yeah, RIP, bro. RIP to everybody as well, and everybody, exactly. RIP to the family of Christians and everyone who's lost a loved one, especially inside and neglected Syria. Yeah, 100%. 3 points is a must tomorrow. Keep the pressure. 2-1 United. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Leicester are on the run at the moment. 100% they are. They are. Yeah, they 100% are. Madison says, yeah, Dancing says, Madison is on fire and we need to stop him. Guys, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And yeah, we need to win tomorrow as well. Yeah, no easy games, Georgie B. Khalis Remedy last year, 100%. Of course, 100%, bro. I agree with you. I agree, bro. I agree. How can they still have sanctions against them, like a war-torn country, and aid can't even get through to them? It's shocking. It's shocking. That's what I'm saying to you. These journalists who were asked about Man United being bought by them, where is their uproar? Where is their uproar? Where is it? They're morally bankrupt, absolutely vacuous. The level of hypocrisy through British media. Some of it is xenophobic, some of it is Islamophobic, some of it is just damn right racist. But honestly, their hypocrisy is next minute. It is absolutely next minute. Listen, there are no owners. There are no great owners for any football club. Man United fans, the Edwards protested them. 80s, there were rumblings in the Stretford, and people are telling me, people who were there, who were protesting against them. McManus. Then the Glazers came, and then the Glazers were like just the worst owners we've had in a long time. So it is what it is, people. But yeah, quickly, let's get into it, people. Let's get your predictions right tomorrow. The type of team that I want to play, I just wish that we get Anthony back. I wish we can get Anthony back. I really think we need Anthony back. Martial, for me, I have no hope. I've lost hope. I've absolutely lost hope. I have lost hope when it comes to Martial. I'm sorry, people. He's beating it. It's out of me. It's literally out of me. I know. And I know the maddest thing. It's not Jim that's buying Manchester United. It's Ineos that's buying Man United. And Khalis, they're a multinational corporation. They're a stateless corporation. They're a multinational. That's what they are. Multinational corporation. So it's surreal. It's very surreal to me. Like why they mention who it is. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But tomorrow, guys, I just wish that Anthony would be back and to refresh. So hopefully we can freshen up the midfield. Obviously, we got no Casemiro. It is what it is, innit? Hopefully after this game, he comes back in it. That's the last game. Was that horrific red card. I still can't. I'm still so effing angry. I'm still fuming about that red card because no way for 5 seconds like that can get you a red card. Hughes was laughing at him. They hugged it out. It's just beyond me. But anyway, so no Casemiro tomorrow. Fred Sabitzer in midfield. Bruno plays every game, people. He plays every game. It's written in his contract. It's written in blood. Bruno literally cut himself, dipped his pen in his blood, and wrote it in blood in his contract. I have to play every minute of every game for Manchester United. That's what it is, honestly. So that's the midfield. But would Varane go back to being rested? Or would Varane start? Or would Lindelof start? Or is it going to be Martinez and Shaw? Have they played together? Have Martinez and Shaw played together? I don't know if they played together. But is it going to be Varane, Martinez tomorrow? Or is it going to be Lindelof or Maguire and Varane? Who's it going to be? Who's he going to be tomorrow, people? So I don't know. He might reshuffle the pack. I think what he's going to do is find out today, the recovery sessions, how well they've done. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But to me, the team would be it would be De Gea in net. Wan-Bissaka, I'll definitely play Wan-Bissaka tomorrow. Harvey Elliott is good. Is good and it's tricky. So I'll play Wan-Bissaka. For me, Varane would play Varane, Martinez, Shaw. Then midfield will be a bit stuff. Fred, Bruno. Up front, to me, I would play up front Rashford, Sancho, and Workhorse, and play Workhorse as the number 10 again, because he's a lot better. He brings us a lot of control. He's so much better linking the play as a number 10 than he's striker. So that's my team tomorrow. If Man United score first tomorrow, I can see us doing something. So I'm gonna stick my neck out and go 2-1 win United. But if we get beat, then understand that it's fatigue. It's an emotional and mental fatigue. And they've rested all week. They've not played a game since they played Spurs. So they've had a complete rest, energized for this game, planned every day watching Manchester United tapes. Every player's there studying Man United, how Man United play. That's what they've done, prepared for this game. And they've done that. And while Man United literally got back in the country mad hours on yesterday morning, and then they had a bit of a recovery session yesterday, and today they're just going through the match plan. So United have had one day to prepare this game, while Leicester have had 6 days or 5 days to prepare for this game. No, actually 6 days, 6 days to prepare. Because last time they played was last Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, honestly. It's crazy. It is crazy. Nuruddin, well, people worried because Manchester United will be back to the top and they are racist. Yeah, there might be, bro. But listen, like I said, whether the Glazers buy it or not, it's going to be what it is, people. It's going to be what it is. But give me your scores. Give me your scores tomorrow. Give me your scores. You know what? I'm going to say a draw. I think. Listen, if we had Eriksen, Van der Beek, Scott McTominay, if we had all the options, if Martial was fit, I'll be confident saying, "Oh, we got to beat Leicester tomorrow." But we're not. We've got 6 players out, 6 first-team players out, injured. So I think it's going to be a draw tomorrow. Maybe 1-1, 2-2. It might be one of these. That's what it might be. But get your score lines in. 2-1 for me, Sancho, and the horse to score. 2-1, she says, Claire. I'm hoping because we're at home. I bet Leeds win. Wish they got Sean Dyche. Well, I don't know about that. Listen, Leeds are falling apart again. Leeds. I cheer that win today. Everton. I cheered. I was like, get in, Everton, get in, because I want Leeds to get relegated. They're racist fans. They're horrific fans who's singing. I'm never forgive them for singing songs about bloody Munich and doing the plane signs and all of that business. Horrible, horrible bigots, horrible bastards. That's what they are. 2-2, but it could be 3-1 also United. 2-1, 3-1. Okay, Natalie's gone for it. 3-0. Wow. Wakanda Forever is going for it. Why have you... Listen, have Man United got some of your vibranium? Have you sent some of the vibranium? Is Rashford on the vibranium? Is that what it is, Wakanda Forever? Let us know, Wakanda Forever. Let us know. Question needs to be asked about Anthony Rodin. Yeah, 100%. What's going on with him? Picking up too many injuries. I'm hopeful United win 3-1. Rashi saves us again. Rashi to the rescue. 2-0, he's saying Moxie. Listen, I just want to, for 10 minutes, guys, we're not going to be that long. I've got loads of things to do. Like I said, and I'm not going to be here later on. So that's why I'm doing this preview quickly. But let's get into it quickly. United. Right, Sean, I'll send the link on here quickly, bro. We're only gonna have 10 minutes to talk. 10 minutes, brother. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to talk about the journalists and what's going on. So yeah, there's the link, Sean. Jump on. I'm just dumbfounded. I'm absolutely dumbfounded. There's a guy who writes for The Guardian who basically wrote an article, and I was just like, what are you on about? You absolute muppet. What are you on about? Like, what are you going on about? Like, I just try to find the headline. Where's the headline? I'm trying to find the headline, so just bear with me. But he's basically saying like, it could be the worst thing that ever happened, like to football. Like Man United control all of football. The worst thing that could have happened. The worst thing that could have happened. So yeah, it's one of these deluded souls, absolutely deluded souls. But to me, the British media as a whole, they're all morally bankrupt. They're bankrupt. You
But
know
there
what?
again, I told you this now, but I told you, I've been telling you guys this since that Manchester United is the flagship Premier League football club. The moment it was going on sale, you were going to see lots of people coming out to bid, and the coverage of it was always going to be politically tinged. If a Qatar or a nation state is in the running for buying United, I mean, I think the Glazers and whoever is making the decision has a very hard choice to make. I think the fans need to be open to like a certain dosage of like realism when we're assessing like our options and who we would want. I think for a lot of fans, we just want a sugar daddy, somebody who is just going to be there to write a blank check, essentially for whatever we want. But at the same time, we need to be careful and think about like all the ramifications. So consider PSG for example as a model. These football clubs are businesses. No matter what the fans think, they are businesses, and whoever is investing in them is going to want to see a return. That means branding, branding choices. That means the type of players that we choose to sign, because like an owner who is looking to use the club to increase his branding is going to want to have marquee signings every season. Do we know how that's going to gel with the manager, Ten Hag? Is that his model? Is that what he's going to be looking for? Would you rather have like a Sir Jim Ratcliffe, or would you rather have like the investment hedge fund out of New York, just a blind face, a consortium of just money who would put only football people, within. Also, like with the Qatar angle, are we going to have to answer for the next time a story comes out in the news? Something controversial about something somewhere in the Middle East. Is Ten Hag going to be asked to answer for a scandal or something, in a press conference, basically. So there are lots of angles to consider, with this thing. The Qatar guys say they're going to take out our debt. They're going to refurbish the stadium. They're going to invest locally. But at the same time, as you were saying in one old episode, Nuruddin, all money flows back in Qatar. It all flows back upwards one way. So are we sure that in 5 years or 7 years time, there's not going to be an investigation, like how it is with Man City, asking us to deduct funds. So yeah, it's tough choices all around. I hope we can just enjoy. I like Ten Hag's answer. I hope we can just enjoy the football. I hope we can just have a manager and a team that's focused on the football on the pitch. And whoever gets to make the decision, that's why they get paid the big bucks. There's a lot to consider.
Yeah, yeah. Big up, Sean. Yeah, I think what you said is balance, bro. You've looked at it from every angle. But for me, it's unfortunate because this idea, obviously, because Manchester United are flagship, to me that means nothing to me as a Manchester United fan. It's not our fault about our history and our legacy and who we are, and that so many people want to support Manchester United because we're the most romantic football club in the world. So that to me
Biggest.
don't concern me. And to me, the day that
Nuruddin,
you let
Nuruddin,
Ibrahimovic own
not just
Chelsea.
football clubs,
Listen,
not,
let
not
me
just
finish.
football
Let
clubs,
me finish,
the
please. Let me
biggest
just finish.
sports franchise,
No,
the
let me
biggest
just
sports
finish. Bro,
franchise in the world.
listen, you just spoke and I was quiet. I've heard you, so let me just reply, okay? And then you can come back, right? The day that the Premier League and UEFA and FIFA, because they're all corrupt as well, the day that they allowed Chelsea to be taken over by basically Russian oligarch money, that's the day that to me the genie left the bottle. The genie went out the bottle then. The genie left the bottle. And then followed up by City being owned by the Dubai. And then the bottle got bigger and everybody started coming out the bottle. The next minute, UEFA and FIFA allowing PSG to be owned by Qatar. That came out. And then even this season, in the beginning of the summer, Newcastle being by Saudi Arabia. So to me, that argument, what you said, that might have washed with a lot of people, but it don't wash with the United fans. That has got nothing to do with us. So the criteria is this. I do not want Man United trading on the New York Stock Exchange. I do not want, so I don't want it to be taken away from that. I do not want Man United littered with debt. I want Man United funds to be used to be put back into the club. But we're going to need, because of the way the Glazers, what they've done to the football club in 17, 18 years of stagnation when it comes to the training ground, when it comes to the stadium, what they've done, that now Manchester United need an investment of at least 3 billion. That's what Man United need. So off the cuff, Man United need the training ground to be sorted out. The women and the youth team play in another town called Lee. That needs to stop. That needs to stop ASAP. So the whole football department has to become the number one football department. So for me, this idea that Man United are the flagship, that don't concern me or any other United fan. So no debt to the football club. No Man United being listed on the New York Stock Exchange ever again. Man United going back to the badge, Manchester United on the badge. None of this. That's what I want Man United to be. But if it's all love and fair, if there was utopian world which we would live in, that's if I would want the fans to own Man United. But I don't live in that. So this idea that Qataris can never own Man United, but hedge funds who invest in the industrial military complex, like the Glazers were, like all of these other companies, like all these billionaires do in the world, they're allowed to, but the Qataris are not. That to me is just ludicrous. It's xenophobic and it's racist. And the idea that the British government or the US government or the European Union can ever talk about anything to do with human rights is damn laughable. Because people like you and me, Sean, we know too much. We know where the skeletons are. We know where the bodies are buried. So for me, I ain't buying it.
No, but sure now, Nuruddin, if we know so much, then we should also know and recognize that there is a power imbalance, essentially, and that's part of what makes it so frustrating. You know, that's why it's so upsetting, because there is a power imbalance, and we have to watch. And I'm just trying to introduce, like, you know, a little bit of context into the situation. I'm not saying that's impossible, but advise. I just think because of, like I said, United is one of the biggest, not just football clubs, sports franchises, essentially, like that exists in the world right now and has ever existed. That badge and that red jersey is recognizable all over the world. I think it's going to be difficult to take Manchester United private now, to take them off the New York Stock Exchange. It's going to involve the owner, whoever is buying, essentially, you know, paying out every single shareholder. The fact that United is a publicly traded company means that there's a lot of visibility, or that there has to be a lot of visibility into what we do. And what you were saying about, you know, once they allowed Chelsea to be bought by Abramovich and Newcastle to be bought by the Saudis and City, all that is true. But that is why, to an extent, you're seeing the football bodies trying to introduce some legislation. So there's like a tug of war happening. You know, there's a push and pull on both sides. They're trying to legislate through FFP. They're trying to ensure that, like, you know, there's still like some kind of like fair play or level playing ground. So see the investigation that's going on with Man City right now. People are saying that, like, that's because the FA is about to release a report, you know, or something on how the Premier League is failing to enforce some of their policies. So there's like a lot in the background happening, you know, right now that might make it difficult, essentially, for United fans to get what we want. What the Glazers want, obviously, is to maximize, you know, their returns first and foremost, to get the highest amount. And I think you said 3 billion, but everything I've seen so far has been between 4 and 5 billion. Everyone who has put in their money. I think what might make the difference would be who is putting cash up front versus who is, like, seeking to, like, you know, stagger their payments over a period of time, how much cash they're putting, and none of that. But yeah, it's tough choices. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Well, all of these bids, though, just to comment on that. Anyway, good. Just to comment on that little part, anyway. All of these bids are changeable that have been put in this far. So Ineos they could bid £3 billion, but because they've put a changeable line in their paragraph, it means they're willing to negotiate the price further. It's not their final offer. Anybody who's put in these bids, like Qatar, for example, this Qatari bid where people are saying that they've got the money to buy Man United, they have £6 billion laying around. This sheikh and, you know, his father and everything, and the wealth of that royal family and that side of the royal family as well, they have £6 billion lying around in that bank where they can fund it if they needed to. But any good negotiator, any good businessman, you always have a start price and an end price, and you hope to meet somewhere in the middle. And if it goes beyond your end price, you then don't get interested. But same with Qatar. If the speculation is that they've bidded 4.5 billion, that isn't the 6 billion that the Glazers want, but they're willing to negotiate it further up. Same with Sir Jim. He's willing to negotiate it further up. So in terms of all of these different bits, they are changeable in terms of the fact of all parties will look to negotiate higher figures that meet the Glazer family's demands, but also their demands as well.
What do you guys make of the branding? Like, with the Qataris, they put in that guy as the face of it. With Ineos, you have Sir Jim, and then there's this company out of New York that's basically faceless. Whoever signs United, there's going to be like a personality to that owner. Like, what do you guys make of the branding that's coming?
I think it's more a case of to do with companies like the Elliott one, for example, and like you had Clear Lake Capital, which bought Chelsea in the end. They came out solo initially, and then they was in the consultation with Hanshaw Weiss and Todd Bowley, and they built they bought into their consortium essentially, and they funded the takeover for them, and the consortium built up of the businessmen were the only people that had to put up the investment into the club, but the club was being bought for them for them to invest in it personally. That's where it come from with that. In terms of with say Sir Jim, it's a similar thing. He's got Wall Street backing from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, where they're going to fund the debt off of the football club, but they're also going to fund his partial takeover of it. And the only thing he has to do is put up a pledged investment, which him and Ineos, they have they have £1 billion or £2 billion where they can put a pledged investment in. Same thing with, like you just said, with Qatar about them having a face and a figure. All of these different groups and that, it will be a case of there will be one person who will be like the main name for that bid or that consortium. Even if it's a company, you have, I don't know, Amazon popping and joining the race or something. They'll put somebody's name forward
or Elon Musk.
They're going for it. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with Qatar, for example. They've just chosen somebody of the royal family who essentially isn't in a high power role at this moment in time, but he's still a significant figure within that family. He's the brother of the Emir of Qatar. His father was the former Prime Minister and the executive of QIA, one of the biggest investment corporations in Qatar. So they have got a status in that name. And like me and Nuruddin discussed anyway yesterday, when you have the name Sheikh in your actual name, that means something. You walk around Qatar or even just in the Middle East, people are going to know
who that is.
They're going to know he's serious, because
so Sir Jim comes with debt.
That's the problem. This is the thing, though. Yeah, that's the thing, because Sir Jim's bid is going to be similar to how a lot of Americans and people will finance their bids. They would put the money up in terms of a stadium development or things like that. They will have to do that from their own funding, because no bank is going to fund A, them the takeover, and B, then the project. The project has to be funded by the actual person or the organisation, which in this case would be Sir Jim and Ineos, but the banks will fund him to buy it, essentially, and then the debts will be on Ineos and Sir Jim. But they, at the end of the day, same thing with Qatar, they're saying that they're going to come in, they want to wipe the debt away, they want to completely wipe everything, but there is two cases to every argument, because people will brand the Qatari bid as, well, it's going to be sports washing, and all the different human rights groups are coming out and saying things. But the same thing goes for, say, Sir Jim. His company, you could classify it as, it's been branded with Ineos as that they do greenwashing. It's a case of they want to wash away all of their different dealings in terms of the impact that they have on the environment and people like that, and such as like climate change and things, and how that develops through the environment and pollution ratings and stuff, because it's off the scale. And they say that Ineos use their financials to invest in different sports, like in motorsports, for example, with Mercedes, like with sailing, Nice, for example.
Yeah,
this is the thing.
I think you can say for the Qataris at least that, like, they're not going to be as invested in their profits or their returns as somebody like Sir Jim might be.
Well, the thing with Qatar that shocked me was, it was okay. I was expecting all of these people to come through and say, listen, I'm interested. Like they put in the paragraph, we formally can confirm our interest and this is the stake that we want. But I wasn't expecting, say, Qatar to come out with, we're going to invest in the stadium. I was expecting that to be later down the line, not straight away. And like, this is our plan and this is what we're going to do.
No, but it's a PR war.
Sir Jim hasn't done that, has he? Sir Jim hasn't come out and said that we're going to
so-
develop the stadium and things
Sejim
like
gave an
that.
interview. Sejim went from the United fan angle. It's a PR war as well between all these guys because they
But
have
Of
to
course
win
it is. These guys are
the
masters of
public
PR.
image.
They do it for years.
if we were to believe if this guy's a United fan, of course he knows we need a stadium. Of course he knows. Of course he knows. Like, you know what I mean? This Qatari kid, if he knows that he's a United fan, and people are verifying saying that when he was studying in London, he was a United fan. You know what I mean? And we'd go to watch games. People are saying that now. There's lots of things coming out. So at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Do you know the thing though? Can we let's just speak about that though? This myth around, you've got to be a fan of the club and this, that, the other, because we said about, this sheikh, for example, where he's been photographed in a United shirt, whether it's photocopied or anything, we don't know, or it's BS.
No,
But the same thing goes. The same thing goes for Sejim though. I've not seen Sejim Ratcliffe posting in Old Trafford for nearly 10, 15 years. The last time I think he was sitting there.
Owner as well.
He's been more times to Stamford Bridge than he has Old Trafford.
He's a ticket holder at Chelsea.
This is the thing. But it doesn't matter if you're a season ticket holder, because what's the point in holding a season ticket with Chelsea? You're prepared to go to Chelsea games, but you're not prepared to go maybe 2 or 3 times to Man United, the club that you love, supposedly, or the club that is deep in your heart. And I would say the same thing for Qatar, but I think with those guys, they have a reason, they have a motive behind it, because they're not from this country. They aren't British citizens. Sejim, he lives, operates, his whole big business organisation runs through the UK. So that's why I'm saying from that angle. Same thing with the Americans, for example. And this is the one thing why I think the labelling with such as Todd Bowley's been bashed about and everything, where he's gone on this massive spending spree and things like that. But the one thing that I've always seen with him is every single game this season where he can make it, he has done. Apart from when he has his own businesses that he's got to attend to in America, when at the end of the day, I saw him at the Dortmund Stadium. He was blooming hell. He was taking pictures and videos and everything. Whenever he was in the Glazer family, in that sort of capacity, hardly ever. I can't remember the last time they visited Old Trafford. We've been to Europa League finals and everything recently. We've been to Wembley a couple of times and that. I've never seen them there. This is the funny thing.
We only saw them one game. That was Barcelona.
Barcelona, that was it, yeah. But like how many years ago? That was like 2, 3, 4 years ago now, when we got, Messi put us in a spliff in that one night, and the rest was history. But no, like they say, with all this, with Qatar and Sejim, we got put in the pipe by Lionel Messi. End of. But anyway, listen. If the oil money comes, you might end up with Lionel Messi. You never know.
And this is what I don't want. So for me,
we don't want the personalities now. But I think one of the key points,
I don't want any Galacticos.
They said the way that he listed
comes with like Galactical owners now.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I liked about it was the name of the foundation that he's actually set up. You can tell he's put some thought and meaning into it, because he's looked at the United heritage and the history, like the class of '92, and he's thought, I'm gonna word it and I'm gonna I need to come up with a brilliant branding name that links to Man United, but also links to me as a fan. And he thought, class of '92, the year that I became a Man United fan, I was 10 years old, and all those different things and factors. With Sejim, he's keeping the lid on sort of his plans at the moment in time. And this is the thing.
No, but not really, though, Tom. Now, Sejim came out like a few months ago or weeks ago. He was giving interviews. He was talking about it. Like, he started his own PR battle earlier. And then we started hearing the rumors about the Qatar guys, and then they dropped this.
But the thing I'm saying, though, Sean, is he's not said anything about what he's wanting to do with the football club. All he's saying is he wants to put Manchester back into Manchester United and things, wordings like that. Whereas you have Qatar, you'll have a couple of Americans that will come out and say, well, we're willing to invest in the stadium, we're willing to invest in the training ground, the women's team, the youth team. Sejim, we've not heard
to read the
one of those things.
You would see like what exactly like they're planning to do, but like I'm saying, the public facing messages that they're giving out are carefully curated. So the New York people or the American one, we didn't hear anything from them. It's all PR. Like they're trying to win the public perception like battle as well, because they know that whoever the fans back, that's going to play a key role like in who eventually gets picked. So your money is one thing.
Sean, I'm telling you now. Being in and around the yesterday and today, being in and around Manchester and talking to a lot of people people don't want Jim Ratcliffe, and people want Jim Ratcliffe
There you
before.
go.
As soon as they hear the debt, as soon as they hear JP Morgan, they're like, nah.
Yeah,
You
nah.
don't
They're getting
understand.
the.
We've
And
been
it's
burnt
very
once.
difficult. Let me just finish. It's very difficult for people who are not United fans to understand when United fans hear debt, they're like, I'm out. Let me just get this. Big up Alien Tenno says Qatar Airways on the fuck what people say. Listen, at the end of the day, we don't know yet if the Qatar is.
Listen, you could have Harrods on the shirt for all we know.
Yeah, I think
I like
a lot
Qatar
of Man
Airways.
United fans need to listen. A lot of Man United fans need to be careful and stop getting giddy because we don't know if Qatar's. But a lot of people are acting Qatar already got the United in the bag. By the way, Liverpool are winning 2-0 apparently. Gakpo 2-0, yeah, 2-0. Newcastle, Liverpool. That's what's happening. But it is what it is, guys. Honestly, we could talk about this endlessly. But apparently, the Elliott Group have come forward, and apparently that's one of the other people who are bidding for Man United. Is the Elliott Group? They're the same people that owned,
AC Milan.
AC Milan, and the AC Milan fans run them out of the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about them guys though, because I don't think they'll want to buy the full thing. Like with Sir Jim, the way that the statement's been worded is, what was it, majority ownership, whereas the Qatari one was, I want 100%. I want to buy the Glazers 66% shares, and I want to buy all of the New York Stock Exchange shares. I want to buy everything. I want to have 100% of this football club. Every single dime, every single
let's think about the
graph
Tomo. Which
at Old Trafford.
Which one do we want? Or is that what people want? Like one person owning 100%, or do you want to at least have a sharing of the power, some accountability to either the public or other shareholders?
Nah,
I don't know.
I think
we're done with shareholders. We're done with all that.
I'd rather it just be. Listen, even if the Elliott Group come in and said we'll buy 100% of it, I'd rather be on board with that than you have Glazers or you have different shareholders that have pricings in the football club and how it's evaluated. Even with the same thing with the New York Stock Exchange, whoever comes in, I want them to rip it off of the New York Stock Exchange anyway, because the valuation and the share price figures and everything, it's ridiculous how it evaluates it. Yeah. But anybody who comes in here is looking at this and thinking, like the Elliott Group, for example, me personally, I wouldn't expect them to come in and say, we're going to buy the whole thing. I think they will say, we'll buy the Glazers shares, same to what Sir Jim has done, or we'll buy a minority stake.
Well, the rest of the 30% is going to be bought, Tom. To me, it's a minor for me. You know, the 30% Class B shares that have no voting rights, nothing. It's just a couple of these hedge funds that own them, and you give them maybe $1 more or £1 more than what they're worth, a couple of pounds more. They'll sell. They'll sell.
Well, they tried to get the Saudis into bed, didn't they? The Glazers. Exactly. They failed with it when PIF was involved.
I know people in Manchester who basically were forced to sell when the Glazers took over Man United.
Yeah.
Well, everybody was forced to sell. That's what happens. If the Glazers are all right with them owning that 30%, but if the new owner comes and is not all right with it, they'll have to sell because they own the majority. Yep. That's how it works. Pick up Jarvis. Jarvis says, no, it's logical fault with your rhetoric, right? No problem. People are allowed to be critical of the Qatari without being phobic. Even if Americans want to invest in arms, two wrongs don't make a right. No, 100%. I agree with what you're saying. I agree if everything you said, Nuruddin, is logical fault with your rhetoric. People are allowed. Yeah. Anybody can be critical of anything, of anybody. For me, it's these journalists. I'm sorry, Jarvis. I live in this country. I know who these journalists are. We know how they work. We call them out on here regularly. The idea of them caring about human rights on what's going on in the world, while Man City, well, they said nothing about Man City. They said nothing about Chelsea. And they said nothing about Saudi Arabia. But all of a sudden, they're all piping up about Man United because Man United could be bought by Qatar. It's laughable to me. It's laughable. Now, if United fans, I agree 100%. When it comes to the fans, 100% I agree. Anybody, I understand all of the worries because parts of me, even if Qatar take, do you think I'm happy with Qatar taking over Man United? I'm not fully happy because I don't want Galacticos. I don't want them buying Mbappe and Mbappe them thinking he's bigger than Manchester United. I don't want them buying Neymar and Neymar thinking that he can fuck off to fucking every January, fuck off back to Brazil and go to the carnival. I don't want that. I don't want to be undermined. I don't want that. So don't get it twisted. I don't. I want no debt. The biggest thing for me is I don't want to hear any debt. Because Man United before the Glazers were only ever in debt in the 1930s during wartime.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about, please, I'm separating. The fans we can all have worries, whether it's Jim, whether it's the Qataris, whether it's the Elliott Group, wherever. Everybody, there'll be like Sean said before, there'll be pros and cons. That's what it would be. There'll be pros and cons with
Let's pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
So there isn't no perfect owner. They don't exist. Go and look at the history of Man United. When the Edwards owned Man United, Martin and his dad owned Man United, people protesting against them. When McMahon owned them, people protesting against it because they floated us in 91, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We got floated on the New York Exchange. So at the end of the day, people, there is always going to be that. But the idea that some of these journalists, where this country and Britain have wrecked the Middle East, and Britain and America sell more weapons than anybody else in the world, sorry, mate. You ain't finding a moral backbone all of a sudden. Sorry. I reject that. I'll take it and I'll slap it back into your face, backhand it. That's what I'm going to do.
Can I ask you a question now, Nuruddin?
I know you never be hearing it. At the end of the day, Manchester United will have a soul. It's still a football club, regardless who is owned by. You know why? Because it's the fans that give it a soul. And the fans pass it on generation to generation to generation. And fans are always going to be here through different generations, while owners will exchange. And players will come and go, but fans will always live through the reason why you support Man United. That's the reason why. But guys, we can talk about this all day, every day. And at the end of the day, there's pros and cons. And I'm not criticizing. If any fans now says, I want Jim Ratcliffe, I'm not going to go, oh, why do you want Jim Ratcliffe? No, I'm going to say it's a personal choice. I understand why, right? Just his argument, the fact that he's from Manchester, that might do it for you. For somebody like me, I don't care where you're from. I don't care whether you support the football club, whether you're from Timbuktu, whether you're from Jupiter, Mars, I don't care. I do not care. What I care about is Manchester United, and I care about no debt, investment, because of the predicament the Glazers have put us in. We need at least 3 billion in the first 7 to 8 years to sort the football club out. That's what we need, right? So, and all of these journalists as well, Javas, they've never said anything about the Glazers. Like, there's one guy who's consistent. I'm happy to hear what Mikel Delaney says. Daniel Taylor, Mikel Delaney, I can hear it. When they talk about Qatar, criticize Qatar, I can 100% say legit. You've got legitimate to, because you know why? They're the only two journalists that had the effing backbone to criticize the Glazers. And they consistently criticize the Glazers. Consistently. Right? So I have nothing, even though Saudi Arabia percentage owns the Independent, the Qatars own almost 15% of Sainsbury's. Right? So the idea also, people, that the Qatars are linked to all the Middle Eastern oil money is linked to the British economy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
but it's a silent funder in the way, yeah.
I'm sorry. Just because those things don't have a following like Man United, that don't mean that decisions are taken. And I want to remind you all.
But it does now, fundamentally it does.
1970 till 1970, colony. Look it up. Look it up. If you don't believe me, look it up. So this idea that it's almost like Jamaica bloody investing in Man United. That's what it's like. Qatar, who do you think set up these Emiratis and these kingdoms in the Middle East? Who do you think did that? Who do you think that the royal family of Britain and the royal family of England and the UK is tied to all these families? They've got huge properties in London. They practically own Heathrow, practically own the London Stock Exchange. So please, cry me a river. Cry me a river. That's if Qatar, and it's a big if. Even though United fans are acting like, oh yeah, this is what it's been. And then you look at Jim, how he is with Nice. You see what's happening with Nice.
In 4 years, £200 million investment.
Yeah, go and speak to Nice fans.
I've spoke to a few of them, and honestly,
and
he He came in with this big motive and this big initiative, and they say he's not delivered. He said that he was going to invest in the local area. He said that he was going to invest within the actual stadium and infrastructure because he was going to take the capacity up, so then he could build more revenues in that football club. He's not done any of it. The only thing he's done is basically run the football club on the finances it's already run on. He's been nowhere near Nice have been nowhere near a Champions League place. They sign bang average Premier League players, the likes of Aaron Ramsey, Kasper Schmeichel, these kind of players. And this sort of funding that he's supposed to have and that he's supposed to invest in that club, he spent 200 million. That's not somebody
he's a businessman. He's a businessman. That the pure
I don't mind, though.
Spend as little as possible and get as much as possible in return.
I'll be real and honest, though, right? Any of these owners that come in and everything, so long as they make Manchester United successful over a sustained and long period, I would not be bothered, myself personally, if they want a cut of, say, something that we win. Say if you win something, I don't know, you win 2 or 3 Champions Leagues in, say, 10 years. I don't mind if they want to take a cut out of that percentage or that percentile, so long as it's not a major cut. Like the Glazers do, where they take major dividends per year annually, even when the club's fucking on its backbones of its
Don't get it
hearts.
twisted, Tom. If anyone buys United, I know the fans listen, anyone who buys United is going to get some kind of return.
They're getting
Annually,
something out of it. There's a motive
they're gonna be
behind
getting
every
something
single
out
one of
of it.
these. There is a motive
gonna be
behind
getting-
every one of them.
They're going to
It's
be
either
getting
to make money or
something
for
behind-
political reasons. That's why.
or both.
Or both, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, guys, we understand. For me, any other fan, every United Therapy RB, guys, big up Tom, by the way, hopefully. Make sure you give him a follow. But every United fan who has different opinions, even if some of them want the Glazers still, I'll be like, you're totally deluded, you're totally wrong, but that's your opinion, right? If some people want Elliott, that's their opinion. If some people want the Qatari, that's their opinion. If some people want Jim Ratcliffe, that's their opinion. But I'm not having journalists come in who are morally bankrupt, Sean,
Who
to
do you
come
want?
out
Who do you want,
and
Nuruddin?
tell us this and that.
Who
I'm
do you
not
want? Of all the people, Elliott, Ratcliffe, or Qatar?
Who do I want? For me,
Yes.
the biggest thing, Sean, no word of a lie. I don't want anybody who's putting Manchester United in a debt. That to me, that's a disqualifier. That's a disqualifier. And then anybody who hasn't got $2.5 billion to invest in the infrastructure, Sean, I can't lie to you, bro. I swear to you, if you saw the stadium, you would be like, what? This is what Manchester United are playing in? Like, you would be shocked. You know when I'll be there tomorrow, yeah? You know when the goal happens, I can't stand up because I'm always scraping my knees. I swear, it's not even a laughing joke. It's not
so
funny.
far, it looks like the Qataris have the strongest bid.
Yes.
And I think like
But
look at their strongest bid in terms of the PR
it.
and what they have to offer. I mean, I think we should be happy.
Do you
We should
think
be happy about the performance against Barca. You know,
Listen.
if we beat Leicester, I'll be happy then too.
Listen, do you think I'm happy about Qataris owning Manchester United for sports washing? I'm not. I'm not happy about that. But I'm also not happy about chemical company greenwashing Manchester United. I'm not happy about that either. Like I said, if it was up to me, Man United fans would own. Every club in this country will be owned by the fans. Every club in this country will be owned by the biggest shareholders will be the fans.
I just want to put on record that I think that's a bad idea. I think it's better if the person who owns the club isn't thinking like
you
a
might
fan.
think it's a bad idea.
You know?
Listen, you think it might be a bad idea, and you understand that it could be a kick-off because certain fans would want certain thing, and then they'll be taking each other to court and all of that.
Fans are too emotional, you know. Like sometimes our motives might conflict with the best thing for the club. Yeah.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is that we've had all these different owners take control of football. It's time to give fans a chance to make mistakes as well, because owners have wrecked football clubs. Football clubs have disappeared, Sean. Football clubs have went bankrupt and have been the names totally gone. So what I'm saying to you is that, of course, but not all football fans are emotional. Not all football fans are. But what I'm saying to you, that's what my ideal would be. I think there's enough United fans who are sensible enough to respect that your history and to think Man United would be. But the thing about Qatar,
let me tell you my ideal.
The thing about Qatar, what worries me, is that they want to build the Galacticos and have a little toy to play with. No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. No United fan want that. The Qataris could come in and sack Ten Hag tomorrow and bring in whoever their next big manager is and bring in Neymar and Mbappe.
Let me meet you halfway. My ideal owner is very simple. Is an owner who understands the distinction between being the owner and knowing what's best for the football of the club. So if you own the club, just employ someone who you trust that can make football decisions on top of the coach. Leave Ten Hag to do his business. And when they tell you, hey, we need this person, you say, okay, that's it. Like that's all. Like I need from a manager. Just have somebody in charge. Maybe bring Van der Sar from Ajax or someone. Hire someone. Let them be the one running the day-to-day business. If they call you and say we need something, you answer, you deliver. Just be there to back Ten Hag and whoever you respect enough to put in charge of the business or the football club to do their thing. That would be the ideal owner for me. If Qatar can do that, great. Bring the money, put Plaster Qatar Airways signs all over Old Trafford, give United fans points so we can travel around the world, on Qatar Airways. I would welcome that. Yeah, like if they're willing to do that, fine, as long as they respect the distance and they can employ someone who can run it day to day.
That would be the perfect scenario. Respect the history, the tradition. Don't want to bring Galacticos. Understand the history and respect of Man United being a team, not prima donnas. Don't bring me prima donnas. And just because you got money, they don't mean that. Look. The Glazers spent $1 billion with a banker. They put a banker in charge who knows nothing about football. So at the end of the day, every bid is going to have its pros and cons. But to me, I want communication. The list is the list, and I will go through it again, Sean. But next time, inshallah, we'll get you on, bro, because there's the list. I'm going to have a list of the criteria to be the owner of Man United. I've done it already yesterday, but we'll do it again. No problem, because I love to hear yours as well, your list of criteria. But listen, big up Nick Pope. Nick Pope is out of the final, apparently. He got a red card. So Nick Pope is out of the final for Newcastle. They're losing 2-0 down, and they're down to 10 men. So momentum. Yeah. And then some people say Nick Pope is red, so he's out for the final. And De Gropka is cup tied against us. He's out as well. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe if that's
Let's
true.
just get 3 points tomorrow, Nuruddin. That's all, and then we'll go to the final on
exactly.
Wednesday.
That's the most important thing tomorrow, honestly. And they're a very dangerous team. Very dangerous team, Leicester.
Leicester?
Yeah.
Forget it, Nuruddin. We're hot right now.
I understand that, but they're a very dangerous team, bro. See what they did? They dismantled Spurs, and it could have been 5, bro. It could have been 5.
Spurs are shite. They're dangerous, but we are more dangerous. Well,
let's hope, bro. Let's hope. To me, the biggest thing tomorrow is that how well they've recovered emotionally and mentally. Hopefully, if there's no fatigue, we should get the 3 points. But it is what it is. Live, like I said, people. Love, light to everybody. Our hearts goes out to the people in Syria. Our hearts goes out to the people in Turkey. Our hearts goes out to the people in Yemen and Palestine and anybody who's suffering in this world. And people in my home where I was born, there's a war breaking out there, and people of the Tigray region as well in Ethiopia, and the people everywhere around the world. But also our condolences go to Christian Etsu and his family and friends, because
may rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. It is what it is. Mother Nature comes, devastates everybody. But listen, a win, lose or draw, Glazers out, bankers out. People, please make sure you check out Sean Thomas' podcast, How We See Things, in all podcasts.
Very important election coming up in Nigeria this month. We'll be covering it, live on the day and in the lead up to it.
Yeah. It's gonna be big, man. I love listening to your podcast, bro. I love it. It informs me, man, and it challenges some of my views as well. But big up to Sean. So the podcast is How We See Things, and on Twitter, yes, Sean Thomas. So check it out, people, and please make sure you check out. You check out also Tom Journalist 1, and then you also check out Claire as well. Claire, you make sure you check out Claire. That's her. Follow if any of you want to follow her. She does some amazing tweets, and she's a brilliant United fan that I really love following her. And make sure also you follow Khalees Ramadan Lassie at Khalees Ramadan Lassie on Twitter as well. But big up to every one of you. Love and light. Take care. We'll see what happens. And we'll be here tomorrow for the match reaction. Take care. Peace. Good night. Win, lose or draw, Glazers out, bankers out. Win, lose, draw, Glazers out, bankers out.